Hey everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and I am going to introduce you guys to my new paper kit. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to organize a bunch of my trims, my ribbons and lace and things, and also maybe do a few sampler packs in my Etsy shops. You guys have to let me know what you think. So what I've done, and these aren't even the full pages, I was so excited I wanted to show you, but I have 5 pages with different designs printed on these. They're kind of just like labels, but I'm using them to run ribbon around. So I will probably use them other ways in my journals and things as well. So each page has 8 of the spools or the little holders. So this one is a wood, just a wood grain, kind of like the old wooden ones. I've mounted this one. You can see it's nice and sturdy on a really, it's a thin piece of chipboard. So we'll talk about how I did each of these, but that's the wooden one. And then I have one with blues and they're vintage wallpaper patterns. So there's one that I've already done. I cut some of them out already because we're going to play with them here for a few minutes. So some blues, aren't those gorgeous? And then I did one kind of with pinks, kind of dusty pinks. And there's one, I love that vintage button I put on there. You know, sometimes with your supplies, or it is for me anyway, it's just fun to use them if they are pretty. They're looking pretty. So here's another pink one. Okay, so really light pinks and some dusty pinks. And then I did a page with some greens. And I haven't even done a green one yet, but there's a green and there's a green. And then I did one that's sort of neutrals. So again, super fun. And I love the patterns. And I'm not really sure that I'll only put like pink ribbon on the pink ones and blue ribbon on the blue ones. But I just kind of started playing and having a good time with it. So some of them I just cut out. I printed on my kind of everyday cardstock. Because what I'm thinking is, let me show you. So this is what I have. Multiple bins. I have multiple drawers, you know, those plastic organizers with the big drawers, just of ribbon. And it gets like this. And you guys have seen my scrap basket or baggie. I'm not really worried about this necessarily. But it's this that I'm trying to organize. And I have my Christmas one sitting here. This isn't even all of my Christmas ribbons, but this is what ends up happening, and they end up all over the place and unraveling. And I know one day I would love to have like a ribbon holder thing where, like, you know, you can run a bar through and have them all out, but I have so many and so many pretty colors. And I just get in a rut about which ribbons I use. I have a bag full. I don't know if I can even pull it over here and show you guys without making a huge mess. But look at this. I don't even know if you can see it. Just bags and different threads and ribbons. Okay. And I just want to get a little bit organized. And I know I could probably spend weeks doing this. But for the fun of it, I made a digital kit, and it's in my Etsy shop. And I plan to, as I get a ribbon out and start using it, I'm then going to, if there's just a little bit left, like I think this green one I just shoved in there at one point, you know, I'll go ahead and wrap it around one. Or maybe I'll just do 2 or 3. And like I said, maybe put some samplers in my shop. If you guys are interested in that, let me know, of just maybe a variety of different trims. But some of these, this one I sewed a button on just to make it look cute, and then put some of my hand-dyed seam binding. It was the last little piece I had of that kind of yellowy green color. I put it on there. This one I just tied the button to the end of the piece of seam binding. These are just looped on and, you know, loosely. And this may not be the best holder to put these in, but I'm thinking something like this. And if I have narrow things, I don't know, depending on how much is on there, maybe, you know, maybe it's 3 like that. And then I can kind of look in and see what I have. I don't know. it's a work in progress. I'm thinking about it, but let me show you what I'm doing. So again, 5 sheets. They have 8 spools per sheet. So if you printed the kit once, that's 40. So that definitely would get us started. And I just like that they're all different kind of patterns. If you really like just sort of the neutral, or you want everything to match, like you'd like a whole basket, I think the wood grain one would be a good choice. I was giving that some thought too, that it might be cute to have a whole basket, kind of like the old wooden spools or something, you know, like my grandma used to use. So, of course, in its simplest version, you can leave a little tail, like to tie it if you want to, but we can just start, you know, like I said, twining the ribbon around. I put quite a bit of that. It was a bundle of twine, and I was kind of near the end, but that's quite a bit I put on there. Now that one is reinforced with the chipboard. And I had some thoughts about the chipboard too, which I'll tell you about here in a second. Because see what happens, these sort of start to curl up if you do it too tightly or get too much on here. But I think it'll work for my purposes. And then I can just kind of tuck it around. But again, I kind of like them to look cute. So there we go. It just slid off there because I have too much on here, I think. La-di-da. And if I do a sampler, I would probably do like maybe buttons either tied on or sewn on to the actual card to just really make it look cute. Another place, and I haven't done this, maybe we'll do it together, but you could just put a button here and a button here, and then we might be able to get more ribbon to stay on. I don't know. I'm going to play with it. It's a prototype. But I will have this new kit linked for you below. This one I have put on chipboard, so it's going to be a little bit sturdier. And again, that's not a very big piece of ribbon. We'll put it on one that I haven't backed with chipboard, and then maybe, yeah, see, like some pretty lace. And it just gets lost in there because I don't know what I have. So, all right, so if we just were to do, and I could measure it out, and I could say, let's see if we were to put like, let's see if we were to do 3 feet. So that would be a yard of lace. And I'll always make sure I do like a little more, right? Especially if I'm going to do a sampler and say that they each have at least a yard. We'll just cut it to make sure it's definitely more than a yard. And let's see if that's too much for this size. So I hope you guys are doing well. I am always coming up with my next project, and this has certainly been a lot of fun today. And I was gonna sit and go through this whole basket, and then I thought, well, let me just make a video and show you guys what I'm doing. Okay, that's cute, and you can just leave it up like that. So that one did well. So 3 yards did really well on that one. Okay, so I cut all of these out, and then I decided, oh, you know, I want to put some on. See, it's not a huge, super thick piece of chipboard, but it makes a big difference. So then I glued these to here, and I cut them out, and I thought, well, Pam, that's so silly. If you would just go ahead before you cut them out. Let's do the blue or the green. I kind of want to look at the pretty blue ones. So before I cut these out, right, let's do this. Just so we get it sort of close. So I maximize my chipboard and my time. So there. Okay, so I'm going to just cut that like that. And then I'm going to just go ahead and glue it down. Oh, little hearts. These are little map hearts, aren't they cute? They're flying around on my desk for some reason. So I'm going to just go ahead and glue it down. I could probably, because this is cardstock, use a glue stick. But I'm going to use my PVA glue. And I'm just going to go ahead and just glue it down. I mean, I could just even glue the whole page to the chipboard. You could also print this on a heavier cardstock if you wanted to. Like my printer doesn't like it the best, but it will do like 110-pound cardstock. You just have to feed one page in at a time. You can't use the automatic feeder. But I could print these out on that heavier cardstock and then not have to go through this process. But the chipboard definitely makes it a nice thickness. And this way I'm only cutting them out once. And I don't know if you guys can see, I'm not being the most careful, like, and it still looks really good. What I was going to also point out is there is a little lip, like a little lip right here. And I've been, to save time, not trying to cut it out. See how I just kind of just went around it. And so it has that dip. You could bring the dip in a little more. Let's do that with this one to try to hold that ribbon or lace on even a little bit better. It would probably be better if I didn't eyeball it and I sort of drew the curve. But there, that one has a little more of an indentation. This one I'm going to cut out and leave the little piece, and let's see what it looks like and how it does. But I'm thinking, even though it's just now the beginning of December, I'm already kind of thinking about doing a good clean of my craft room, or a good organization. That's a better way to put it. Of my craft room. I've been crafting and so busy this year, working on content and trying to keep my shops stocked. And I haven't even updated my Etsy shop with physical products in a while. I'm so sorry, guys. I've just been so busy. And I'm going to try to get to that as well. But, yeah. So it has that little bit of a little extra little lip there. But I want to organize. My husband and I are talking about some options for some different shelving and workspace in here for me. And then I would love to do like a tour. Right now, I just can't. It's just so embarrassing. But, okay. And I am inking these. And now if you have lace or ribbon that you're really worried about, either don't ink. I just like how they look. Or make sure you really let that ink dry. And then I think it'll be okay. But like, it's not coming off on my fingers or anything, so I don't think it's going to come off on our ribbon. But if you're worried about it, or if it's really special or important ribbon or lace, you know, just keep that in mind. But I think because we're talking about the shelving stuff, I'm thinking, well, you know, let me think of some different ways to organize some of my supplies so that I actually use them. Like I have so many ribbons, but like I said, I end up using just kind of what's at the top. I think I mentioned I don't have enough green ribbon recently, and there's some green right there. So anyway, just my random thoughts that this would be motivating, I think. I'm going to put the pink on here. Motivating if I were to have some different ways to organize some of my supplies in a very cute way. And sort of like the rhinestones, and I was going to make some sampler packs of those. Remember all the sequins and the rhinestones? Still on my to-do list, just haven't quite gotten there. And I thought it was almost empty. So I just need to take the time to get organized. And then, like I said, I could put some fun sampler packs together for my Etsy shop. So again, let me know if that's of interest, and I will get to work on that. So this is what I meant about just kind of tuck it in. I do like bringing it through. I did this with a different one there, so that I have the tail, so that I do know where the end is. There we go. Cute. And you've got the little bit of kind of that pinky color in those flowers. Now on this one, I was thinking I'm going to sew a little button on either end and see if that helps hold the ribbon on there a little bit better. So let's try that. So I'm going to grab my button bag. Here's something else that I have a whole lot of that I could organize better. Oh, I think these are going to be cute. I've been wanting to use these. These are antique buttons, and they have a shank, and I think that will be good because it'll lift them up a little bit. If I can get them open, let's see. My daughter and I got these when we were at an antique store one day, and I just haven't done anything with them yet. So let's use 2 of those. 2 of those, why not, right? That'll be so cute. That blue. Okay, so I'm gonna get my paper piercer, and I am going to, gonna have to get this staple off of this one. Okay, staple's off. This one did not have a staple. I'm gonna hold the button here and just kind of make a mark for the first hole anyway. And then I left my ruler on my other table. I'm gonna just use this and kind of eyeball. Get it about the same place. Now this is gonna make it easier for my needle to go through. I'm gonna just get a second hole. All right, so I've got the little holes there. And if you're new to my channel, thank you, welcome. I'm glad you're here. And if you're someone that has been with me a while, thank you for coming back and watching. That always makes me happy. I'm going to double this. I'll probably have to rethread it for the second button. Welcome. I hope you guys are enjoying my content. This is a little different than what I normally do, but sort of in the same genre. I'm going to leave that a little long. We're going to just see what happens. Okay. Button. If you have not already, I hope you will consider subscribing to my channel. The reason I said I was going to leave this long is I'm going to like tie this. I want to make sure that the knot does not pull through. And I think this is a better way of doing it. Okay. If you enjoy these types of ideas, like how to hopefully organize some of our supplies, let me know. I can try to come up with some other ones. This one, I think these also, by the way, they're great for organizing, but you know, you could do one with not a ton, like this one doesn't have a lot of room, but wouldn't that be cute just in a pocket of a junk journal? And especially if it's one you're giving to someone, or maybe if you're sending a happy mail, you could send some of these. I just think they would be great little gifts for ourselves or others, but also just in a journal, and then you can use the trim. This would be easier if I would just pull it through the shank and then through the hole. So anyway, lots of ways you can use them. I'm also thinking, because they do kind of look like a little label, you could also just print them to use as options for labels in your journal. All right, with the shank, obviously this one is no longer going to be very flat, but again, I'm hoping we can't pull on it too much because it's still thread and paper, but I'm hoping with the shank we're going to be able to get some cute ribbon on here. All right. I hope I didn't just, I did. I just snipped it off with my scissors. Guys, not the best day. I was not being careful at all when I trimmed that off, and I cut it right off. All right, so we're going to do it over again. If you want to, feel free to fast forward while I am sewing these buttons on. If I had thought it through, I would have gone ahead, and this could have been one of my prototypes, and then just shown you how I did it. But as I play with these, I come up with more and more ideas of how I might want to do them. And whoa, okay, let's see what we got here. Got to tie a knot. I'm not going to worry about making it the best knot in the world because, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and just loop it through and tie it on the back. Okay. And I have more thread to work with now, which could be a blessing or a curse. It might make it easier, but I can also get myself all tangled up if I'm not careful. All right, I'm going to carefully trim that one off. Okay, now, and if you don't have any buttons, one thing you could do is punch some circles out onto some with a cardstock and do however many layers, 3, 4, 5 layers to make it nice and chunky. And then you could sew that on, or even just lift it up, make circles that are a little bit smaller, and pop it up. Pop it up is what I'm trying to say. Pop it up. Okay. Now, if I don't cut through the thread, I think we're good. All right, now we'll tie the knot. Now, instead of taking the time, I kind of wanted to see with the 2 buttons and winding it in between, but I think I'm going to just wind some ribbon on here or some string on here with the 1 button, and I think we'll at least get an idea. All right, more careful that time. But imagine that there's 2, or we could just do the 1, even though I already have holes in there. And this is a large spool of ribbon, but I'm always needing blue too. I never seem to have any out and about. So what I was thinking is, as this gets thicker around here, the button might keep it from wanting to slide off. And we could even go up a little higher because we have that button there. Who knows? All right, I'm going to, because it's getting all weird, I'm going to do a really long piece, and let's just see how it does. And in a perfect world, I'd have the 2nd button. I kind of like it with just the 1. The 2 might be a little obnoxious. I don't know. All right, here we go. If you guys have ideas or suggestions for me, leave me a comment. All right, look at this. Now I'm going to be gentle. I've already popped it off or cut it off once. I'm going to bring it around the button, maybe not. Around the button. And maybe down through a few of the layers. Maybe. We'll try it. I get my fingers to work today. All right, I'm trying, y'all. Yeah, and I left it way too long. We could go around again. Yeah. Very cute. And this is where it's kind of sliding off the bottom. And if we had that other button, I'm going to get it back up here where the curve is. There we go. All right. It's not exactly how I envisioned it, but with the 2nd button, I wouldn't have that slide, and this would be a great one. So I am going to sew this button on here later. All right. What else? We could just keep going because I have a whole basket here of trims, but this is kind of what I'm planning to do, is to go through, make some of them super cute with little buttons, and you could put a little charm on the end, you know, hang it off if you wanted to. They're definitely falling over, so I am going to have to think about my idea here, because if they just end up in a huge pile, I haven't done much to help myself, have I? There we go. They're starting to look cute. Let me wrap This last little bit of trim I have just around these, and let's see what it looks like in my little basket. This is like a paper ribbon. I think like florists have used, maybe. I don't know if you can hear it. It almost is crinkling. Yeah, it's not going to want to stay on here. If I could go tighter, if I had these thicker, that would probably be better. Okay, we're not going to waste time with that. Here, it's like paper. It does not want to stay on there at all. Ooh, how about this really bright fuchsia? And I don't even know where some of these came from. This is, I think I'm going to leave. Where'd that end go? Because I was thinking I might tie this one. When my daughter was younger, I think I ended up with some of these brighter, fun colors when I was scrapbooking a lot. I also did some fun ribbon swaps back in the day. And that's where we would each like go to the craft store and buy a spool, or however many spools, like 5 spools of ribbon, right? And then we would make like little cards with a yard of each. So if I got this spool of ribbon and it has how many yards? I don't know. It doesn't say. Okay, it's 18 feet. So we could do 6 yards, right? If I'm doing my public math correct. Where I could keep a yard for myself, and then for 5 friends, give them a yard. And then you end up with a whole basket or a whole bag full of 1 yard little samples of ribbon that other people picked out. And sometimes we would do like Christmas, or we would do neutrals, or we would do red, or, you know, or everybody would have a different color, so we wouldn't all end up with the same thing. So again, lots of options and ways to do ribbon swaps. And that's kind of what I was thinking with my samplers, is I may just, you know, do one that's just a whole weird variety, and you look at the pictures and decide if that's for you, or do one that's neutrals, or a bunch of different shades of pink or orange or red. I don't know. Let me know if you have a preference, or if you were going to look at a ribbon sampler, what would you be looking for? Because I do not need to buy any more ribbon or swap with anyone else. I need to use what I have in my stash. So I always tell myself when I see a really pretty fiber or a lace, you know, I look at somebody else's photos on Instagram and I'm like, ooh, that's really beautiful. And I'm like, Pam, the last thing you need is more ribbon. Ooh, this one needs a home. Yay. All right, so this will be the last one that I do. I've got this one here too, but we'll stop after this and I'll show you my cute little basket. I hope you guys have enjoyed this very simple project. And if you have any ideas for me for other videos, I've got lots in the works. This was just something I happened to be working on today and decided to pop the paper kit on Etsy in case you guys want to organize your stash of ribbon. And I'm going to tuck this one in the back. But let me know if you have ideas for videos or things you'd like to see on my channel or in my Etsy shop. Let me know. Eventually, I will get through this crazy basket of ribbons. Okay, so those are the ones we did. I think they're really cute. I hope you like them. And let me know. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time.